Congratulations! You have made it to the very end of this course, which means that your gentle introduction to Hadoop and its ecosystem projects is now complete. Let's recap a few milestones on that journey. First, you had a chance to learn about 3 V's of big data: data volume, data variety, and data velocity, and how Hadoop has emerged as a go-to platform for all of the enterprises to address all 3 of those. Then, we took you on a brief tour of a database industry and showed how it culminated in Apache Software Foundation releasing the first 100% open source and community-driven platform, now known as Apache Hadoop. Then, it was time to look into the basic building blocks of Hadoop: HDFS for data storage and Yarn for resource management and scheduling. We also had a chance to look into how those building blocks enable the rest of Hadoop ecosystem, which is all of the data parallel processing frameworks working on the data stored in HDFS. In fact, we actually had to experience 3 of those: MapReduce, Spark, and Hive, and gave you a little bit of a taste of how they are all sort of similar, but at the same time solve a slightly different problem. Our Chapter 5 was a lot of fun. With experiments and running Hadoop on your own desktop, we gave you 3 ways of doing that. First, it was local mode. That was the tiniest one of them all. And then we tried pseudo-distributed, which was the tiniest cluster, all of the Hadoop services running on the same desktop. And then we introduced Apache Ambari and Apache BigTop as the tools of the trade to manage Hadoop on clusters that go up to thousands of machines. Then it was time to review some of the basics of Hadoop security and how it dovetails within the rest of the enterprise security policies, making Hadoop as impenetrable as Fort Knox, or should I say Apache Knox? Well, there's way more to cover in Hadoop ecosystem than we managed to do in this course. So I hope with that functional Hadoop environment that you still have on your laptop, you will be encouraged to do more of that on your own. And with that, I would like to thank you so much for attending my course. I really hope that you enjoyed it at least half as much as I enjoyed making it. So bye-bye, and remember, Hadoop is made not by gods, but by fellow hackers and engineers just like yourself. So join me and the rest of the Apache Software Foundation, and let's build the next big thing together. Bye-bye.